Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah, today we will start enrichments 1, 2, 3, 4. We will cover it. We have 4 sessions left. We finished all the curriculum. We finished 4 units. We will cover for every lesson. We will summarize every unit in 1 session. Okay. Today, inshallah, we will focus on Unit 5 from our Super Goal 5. The book, so since when the unit, okay? Today, inshallah, we will summarize everything we covered in that unit. If we want to just remember what we covered in that lesson, in that unit. For the vocabulary, we talked about inventions, physical qualities, and activities. These are the vocabularies we covered in that unit. For the function, we talked about inventions, express actions that have happened recently, and actions that started in the past and continue to the present. And for the grammar, we will cover the present perfect, the past, simple tense, and we will highlight the difference between the 2 tenses. Also, we will we covered in our lesson present perfect with foreign sense. With foreign sense, we always use the present perfect. With the affirmative and negative questions, we know how to form it. Also, we form questions with how long, and also we learn the passive voice with the 3 different tenses. For the listening, we listened for a text, specific information, and we answered questions related to it. For the pronunciation, we learned how to pronounce the contraction of have, like I've, we've, the short form of have, okay? The reading, we read about a history of special effects. It's related to movies. What do people do to have these movies, the history of movies, the sound effects, the visual effects of movies. And the writing, we wrote about your most important possession, something we have, and we talked about it, we wrote about it, and how long we have this possession. For our project, we wrote about the most important invention of the last century. We thought about an invention and we wrote about it. This was our project. This is what we covered in our Unit 5. Let's focus on recall some of the informations, and we will do some exercises related to these revisions we will do together. Here on these pictures, we have a picture of many inventions, many equipments, microwave, a fan, a boiler. So different inventions, okay? And I'm sure you, if you want to recall all these information, look at the vocabulary so we can do. And here we are comparing between the past and the new inventions. Okay. Now, these words, we already took it in our unit. Since when? These are not new vocabulary. We already covered it and we know the meaning of it. And we have this exercise. We have to fill out these blanks using the words in the box. Okay? You have to choose 2 words and put it in the blank. Like here, number 1, I already wrote the answer for you. Before the what? Electric light bulb. Electric light bulb. كيف عرفتي يا miss? How did I know? Was invented. People used lamps and candles. Before this invention, people used candles to see, to walk around. So they invented the light bulbs, electric light bulbs, okay? For question 2, for part 2, with the invention of what? We no longer need rolls of film. Rolls of film. Before the cameras, here they're talking about cameras. Before the cameras, they used rolls of films to take pictures. Then they take it to a shop. Then they change it to a paper pictures so they can see the pictures. Okay? They don't see it as nowadays. Nowadays, we only take the picture and we can see it in front of us, صح? طيب, what is the invention they invented? with the invention of, excellent, cameras. What kind of cameras? Digital. So we write digital cameras. We no longer need rolls of film. Okay? What about number 3? Number 4, read it, try to answer it with me, discuss the answers with your friends. Before this invention, the picture on the screen was black and white. So they are talking about the screen. The pictures were in black and white. What kind of screen is it? It's excellent, it's a TV. They're talking about TV. Before, it was in black and white. Nowadays, it is what? Which word we're gonna use? Colored, excellent. So we use this one and try to complete it. Number 4, this invention allow you to heat food and liquids quickly. If you have a plate or a drink, food or a drink, you want to reheat it, it's cold, you want to make it hot. Which invention made it quickly? Okay, change the temperature of your food, the heat. 5, many people prefer to use a what instead of cash? Before, they only use cash. Nowadays, people use something else other than cash. What do they use? Excellent. Some of you said card. What kind of card is it? Credit cards. Excellent. Credit cards. So we use this words and this word together. Number 6. Before the what invention we're gonna put was invented? Books were written by hand. Before, they wrote books by hand. Nowadays, how do they write their books? How do people write books? Try to find the answer here. Number 7, the laptop is a what? That you can take with you anywhere. A laptop is a kind of what? Which word we're gonna put? We can take it anywhere. It's similar to a device that you cannot take it everywhere. So try to put the correct word, discuss the answer with your friends, and we will, of course, see the answers together. Number 8, with the invention of the what? We can stay cool and all year long. So we don't feel hot. They invented what? Look around your room, around your classroom. Something, when it's very hot, you turn it on. What is it? Write it down here, okay? Think about these questions, and now let's see the answers together. For number 2, we said digital camera. Before, they used rolls of films. Nowadays, they invented digital cameras. Number 3, color television. Color television. It's the correct one. Before, it was in black and white. Now it's colored. 4, microwave oven. Microwave oven. That's a regular oven. It's a microwave oven to reheat quickly. Okay, to heat your food quickly. Number 5, many people prefer to use credit cards, as we said, instead of cash. 6, before the printing press was invented, books were written by hand. Okay. 7, the laptop was a portable computer. A portable computer. What does portable mean? That means it can move around, that you can move it from one place to another. 8, with the invention of air conditioner, we can stay cool all year long. So this is here just a revision of our vocabulary of the unit. In our unit, we covered this part of grammar, the present perfect and past. Do you remember the difference between present perfect and past? Do you remember? Look at the examples. They might help. If I say, I will give you another example other than these you can see. If I say, I went to Mecca last year. I went to Mecca last year. Okay, I used past. This is a past simple, excellent. I used past tense, went. Okay, but what if I say, I've been to Abha I've been to Abha. I have been to Abha. Do you know when did I go to Abha? No, you don't. I didn't tell you. Mecca, I told you last year. But with Abha, you don't know when did I go. But I did went to Abha in the past. I did go there, okay? But you don't know when. So with the experience, we use the present perfect, okay? Have you ever been to France? Yes, I have been there. When were you there? Here we have a specific time. 2 years ago, I was there 2 years ago. That's why we use the past here. Here we don't have a time. So what is the difference between the present perfect tense and the past simple? We use the present perfect to talk about an action that happened in the past when the exact time isn't known or it is not important. When we don't know when did the action happen, we use the present perfect. But when we know the specific time, like yesterday, last year, last week, last weekend, when we have a specific time, we use the past tense, okay? When the exact time is given. This is the difference between the two tenses, okay? How do we form also here? We covered the present progressive. How do we form the present progressive and when do we use the present progressive tense? The present progressive, what are you doing now? We're talking about actions happening now, okay? I'm standing in front of the screen. I am speaking English. I am writing my homework, okay? You talk about actions happening now. You use I and these verb to be and verb ing. So we have here the pronouns, the verb to be and verb ing. This is how we form the present progressive tense. Okay? Also remember, keep in mind, when we are talking about the present perfect, we use with the present perfect for and since. Like I can say, I've lived in Jeddah for 10 years. I've lived in Abha since 2000, for example. Okay? So with for and since, we use the present perfect, okay? We use the present perfect with for and since to talk about actions that began in the past and continues into the present. For indicates the period of time, like for 2 months, for a year, for a long time. Since indicates when the action began. Since yesterday, since last June. We know when did the action started, okay? The affirmative, the positive sentence, the affirmative sentence, when we are talking about present perfect using for and since, we have the pronouns. He and she, they take has. The other pronouns, they take have. And verb 3, like studied English. For, we have a duration. Since, we have an exact time. Okay? This is how we form the negative. We just add not to has or have. Okay? This is the exercise. In this exercise, you will use what we recalled together. You will use either simple past or present progressive, present perfect, sorry, or present progressive. You will use one of these tenses, okay? كيف أعرف يا miss? You have to read the whole text. If they're talking about now, which one we're going to use? Present progressive, excellent. If they are talking about the past and we don't know when, they're just talking about an experience in the past. Which tense? Present perfect. If they tell you the exact time, excellent, past simple. This is the difference between the three tenses, and you will use one of them here. I highlighted some of words that these can help you to know which tense you will use, okay? So here we have Hamid, is that you? It's a conversation. Adnan, I, and here you have to use the verb between brackets. You since. So with since, what are we going to use? Which tense? Present perfect, excellent. So Adnan, I Have seen you or haven't seen you? Haven't seen you since graduation. How? And try to complete it. Pause the video, look at the conversation and try to do it with your friends. Write it down. And now let's see the answers together. So here, as we said, for the first one, Adnan, I haven't seen you since graduations. How? Excellent. How have you been? How have you been? With you, we use have. Be, verb 3 is been. A, great. Has it been that long? It's a question. Has it been that long? We use has before it because it's a question. Okay? So what these days? We're talking about these days. What is the question we're using? Present, progressive. What are you doing? Excellent. What are you doing these days? B, you won't believe it. They're talking about these days. I am teaching English at our old high school. Okay? Now let's see the other part of the conversation. They are completing. They met each other and they are starting a conversation. Pause it. Try to answer it. Write it down and let's see it together. Really? So you finally, what? We have the verb get. Your degree in English, you finally got. This is here we use the past. Do you remember Mr. Carson? He, such a sense of humor. He, with he, what do we use? Have? No, we say had. We're talking about the past. Had such a sense of humor. Be, actually, he is what? Still. So we're talking about now. He is still working there. He really, what? Since. Here we use since. So which tense are we going to use here? Yes, he has helped me, because since we use the present perfect. Has helped me a lot since I started. Excellent. What about you? They're talking about now, here in Riyadh. Architecture here in Riyadh. I am studying. They're talking about now, architecture here in Riyadh. That reminds me I have to get to class. Let's meet for coffee sometime. Sure. What? Tuesday afternoon. So here they're talking about the future. Do you remember which tense do we use for the future? Do you remember the present progressive? We said we use it to talk about actions happening now or planned actions in the future. So here we're using present progressive. Excellent. What are you doing Thursday afternoon? Okay? Easy. This is just a revision of the grammar part. This is the last exercise we have in our lesson here. Here, I have different questions. I want you to answer it. It's a speaking exercise. So you have to ask your friend these questions and listen to their responses. When they respond, you have to give a reason for your response, okay? Answer the question, then ask and answer with the partner. What is something you haven't done in a long time? Think about something you haven't done in a long time. When we say haven't done, this is present perfect. So we have to use, when we answer, present perfect. Pause the video, read it, ask each other the questions. I wrote the answers here. Let's see the answers together. For question 1, what is something you haven't done in a long time and why? I haven't seen a movie in a long time because I'm studying for exams. I gave a reason. Because I'm studying for exam. Question 2, who is someone you haven't seen in a long time and why? I haven't seen someone, so we're looking at the person, my parents or my brother or my friends, in a long time because I live in a different city. I live in a different city. That's why I didn't see them for a long time. I haven't seen them for a long time. Question 3, where is somewhere? So here a place. You haven't been in a while. So here they're talking about somewhere you haven't been in a while. I haven't been to a restaurant. Here they're talking about a place. So I said a restaurant in a while because I've been cooking a lot. This is the reason I gave, okay? You can think about other examples, okay? Have you ever traveled to another country? If yes, you would say where? Where did you go? Okay, you can say I have traveled to the UAE, okay? Or to Paris, or to any city you can think of, okay? This is for exercise 3. That's it for today. We covered the main and the highlights of our unit since when. We recalled some of the grammar and some of the vocabulary we used and tried to practice the conversation together. Hopefully this was helpful for all of you. Inshallah, I will see you in Enrichments 2 next class. Thank you for listening.